back to the Life of Ashley Hicks. We are back with another video, and I'm so excited because I have my cute little co-host today. So this is Trey J's first time on the channel, and I'm just so excited. As you all know, or some of you all don't know because you may not follow me on social media, we named him after my husband, Travian Montel Hicks Jr. So he is a junior, and I'm just so excited. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm just glad to be back. We took like a little hiatus for a while because we had to get our lives together, honey, okay? But today we're going to talk about my birth plan and how it went wrong. I'm not going to say horribly wrong, but it definitely did not go as planned. And I have my little list right here so I could just read y'all. Okay, so it says birth plan. What was supposed to be on the birth plan? My name, Trey's name, and then I put, don't ask me for any medication, okay? Don't offer me anything unless I ask. No epidural, delayed cord clamping, about 3 minutes. Least invasive as possible, IV block, okay? I want to be able to walk around, and then ask for weight and measurements to be delayed. And then I was curious about the vitamin K shot. We already had paid for his circumcision. I wanted it quiet, a little music, my hubby and my mom, and then some flavored ice, all right? So let's talk about what did happen. I was able to get as much water and fluids that I needed to. I really didn't care too much about the flavored ice. They did give me some broth, so I had some chicken broth, which was really good. And it was super salty, so I was able to get some flavor in my mouth. And like I said, I had a ton of water, and they gave me as much apple juice, cranberry juice, all of that juice that I wanted. I don't remember if I played music. I think I did. I played like a little music, but for the most part, like I couldn't even concentrate, or if I did have music, it was through my headphones. But like I said, I can't remember. I don't think I had music playing once I got in the thick of it. We had the TV on for a little bit, but I wasn't watching that. I was just trying to sleep, honestly. So yes, it's coming back to me. I don't think I had a lot of music playing up until, you know, when it was time for me to get the procedure done. Yeah. My husband and my mom was there, so that was good. And I think they did a little delayed clamping, but I don't know. And yeah, as you can see, I'm having a very hard time going down this list and saying everything went well. So let's start from the beginning. I got my name right, and I got Trey's name right. That was up there. But don't ask me for medication. Where I went wrong at week 36, right? So I went for my 36-week checkup, right? And at the 36-week checkup, they test you for GBS. And of course, your girl tested positive for it. So, yeah, in order to cure that, quote unquote, or get rid of it, they have to give you antibiotics. And you cannot take antibiotics while you are pregnant. So I had to wait until I got to the hospital. And this meant that I couldn't labor at home as much as possible, or up until my water broke. So for me personally, that was kind of like a kick in the gut because, you know, I wanted to labor as much at home as possible. Like I wanted to go to the hospital and be like 8-9 centimeters, and they'd be like, oh my God, his head is there. Boom, like there's a baby, yeah. That's how I wanted to be, but it didn't happen that way. Yeah, I was in labor from Sunday evening watching Real Housewives of Potomac. Monday, I went in for my 40th week appointment, and I had not dilated any. And then Tuesday morning, and mind you, I was still having contractions throughout this whole time, but they were like on and off. And then Tuesday at 1 a.m., that's when the contractions started being 5 to 6 minutes apart. And I woke up Trey around 3, and I got in a tub and tried to relax and do all those all of those breathing exercises, and it was just rough. Like it was truly rough, you know, being in labor for all of those days. And so Tuesday at 8 a.m. we finally decided to go to the hospital. Went to the hospital, checked in the triage, and I was 4 centimeters. But because my contractions had slowed down, they started being like 7 to 8 minutes apart, 9 minutes apart. the nurses were like, hey, you can go home or you can stay here, but if you stay here, you can't eat. And I was like, I'm hungry because I hadn't eaten anything since like 5 or 4 in the morning when I had like the sandwich and apple tray it gave me. So I was like, well, let's leave. Let's go, to Chick-fil-A, because it was like, at that point, it was like 9 something, 9 a.m. So they finally checked me out at 10 a.m., 10:15, and we were able to go to Chick-fil-A right before they closed at 10:30. So yeah, so it was just a struggle for real. So we get back to the hospital at like 5 p.m. and they checked me and they were like, oh, perfect, you're 5 to 6 centimeters, this is great, yeah. And I was like, okay, because I was in pain, y'all. And they checked me in the room and they gave me my antibiotics. They got me started on my antibiotics. And then after that, they started to give me my pain IV medicine. And I had my IV right here on the side. So annoying. I still have that scar to this day because it sat right here, while I was in the hospital for like 3-4 days. And so I was getting the IV medicine and it was working and it was kind of letting me sleep in between the contractions. But it wasn't working at the same time because once I had a contraction, it was like hardcore contraction, and so the struggle was real. And so at this point, I said, don't ask me for medication, don't offer me anything unless I ask, and no epidural. By like 11 p.m., I was in so much pain because they had gave me the peanut ball, they had tried to twist and turn me in all these different positions. And on top of that, I guess every time I went to the bathroom, I would bear down to use the bathroom. And I was trying to push my stomach out of the way so I could use the bathroom. But I guess my cervix was swollen already at that time, and I had no idea. So that was another issue of why I was in so much pain. My cervix was swollen. But they checked me again like 3 or 4 hours later, and I was still 5 to 6 centimeters. But when she checked me, that's when like my water broke. She put that whole hand up there and my water broke like right on the bed, and I was like, oh, that's disgusting. But this was right after they had gave me the Pitocin. So they had gave me the Pitocin because I was 5 to 6 centimeters for like 4 or 5 hours, nothing happened. So they gave me the Pitocin, then 2 hours later she checked me, I was still 5 to 6 centimeters. And so when she checked me, that's when my water broke, and then that's when I slowly increased to 8. So they kept checking me, right? And this is in the morning, crack of dawn, whatever. They were still checking me. I was still 8 centimeters. And by then they were like, sis, your cervix is swollen. I'm so sorry. We're going to go ahead and take you off of the Pitocin. And we're going to, schedule a C-section. Thankfully, when it was like 11 a.m. or something like that, they had gave me the epidural because I just couldn't take it no more. I was like, sis, just call the man, because I'm in pain. Like, I can't take it anymore. And during this time frame, not only was I getting the IV medicine, right, but they had gave me the little electric shock things that I could put in my back to, counterbalance the pain. And that was working, but it wasn't working well enough, okay? So I got an epidural. And once I got an epidural, I was in pure heaven, I must say. I must say, like, all the crap y'all heard me talk about epidural, how I didn't want it, listen, all of that went out the window once that needle was in my back. I didn't even see the needle, but I was just like holding on the tray, or he was right there. I had a pillow or something like that, and that epidural was everything, okay? And then, after the epidural, they checked me a few, hours later and noticed I was still not dilating. So, I had to get a C-section, but I will say that the ladies, the men, everybody, all the surgeons and nurses and staff literally were the absolute best. I cried because I didn't want to have a C-section. So I went from don't ask me for medication, don't offer me anything, no epidural, least as invasive as possible. I want an IV block, I want to be able to walk around. I could not walk around because I was in so much pain, okay? I had to have a C-section, so that was definitely invasive. I had to get an epidural because I was in so much pain. I was going to have to get some type of spinal block anyway because I had a C-section. And then I had the IV medicine and I had antibiotics. So I was drugged up. And because they gave me the epidural, I had to get fluids to balance out everything. So it was just a mess when it came to my birth plan, okay, y'all. But I'm just glad that I was able to have the C-section because everything turned out wonderfully. My surgeons were amazing, and I was able to heal like so fast, so properly. But yeah, y'all, I got this little one from the C-section. So, you know, birth plans are great, they're awesome, but on the flip side, everything won't happen how you think it's supposed to happen. And yeah, it's still like, it's sad to think about to this day sometimes, but I'm thankful that he's here. But I'm just like, dang, I wish I could have had a vaginal birth, you know, to see what it was like. But that C-section, y'all, I think I recovered well, a lot quicker, faster than most. But that's for a whole nother video about the C-section. But I want to just say thank you all for watching, and I hope, you know, you remember that you can have a birth plan. You want to stick to your birth plan, because I was so adamant and gung-ho about my birth plan. But everything might not go, you know, the plan, according to the plan. And you just have to understand and hope and pray that your doctors and nurses and surgeons, everybody will have your best interest at heart. But thank you all for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.